Under the lights. Now this time it's just time to see how they do in the daylight. Welcome back everybody to Dubai Autodrome for this round 3 of the 2024-25 Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East Championship. Scott Woodward's here to guide you through all of the action. And after a fantastic night race that we had last night under floodlights with lights ablaze on these Porsche Carrera Cup cars, now we turn to more familiar conditions in the daytime as the cars set off out of the pits around to the grid to form up for the pre-grid. And then once the grid walk and the festivities are done on the front pit straight, they'll then be let loose onto their one and only formation lap before racing gets underway for 30 minutes or 14 laps, whichever comes first. So racing, of course, at the Dubai Autodrome, one of the long-standing circuits in this region of motorsport, and part of a 6-round championship which has taken us across Dubai, supporting the World Endurance Championship, supporting the F1 World Championship at Qatar, and this weekend here is part of a UAE doubleheader. We're here at Dubai Autodrome this weekend. Next weekend we head up the road about an hour from here to the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. Then there's a long break before the championship gets back underway for its final 2 meetings, again also back-to-back. And they take place once again also on the F1 support timetable, back to Bahrain, and then the final rounds at the ultra-fast Jeddah Corniche circuit in Saudi Arabia. And the cars that you see here are practically identical to the ones that you find in any other of the 12 in total Porsche Carrera Cup championships around the world, and also the prestigious Mobil 1 Super Cup, the ultimate expression of Porsche racing, the top level that follows the Formula 1 World Championship. So the cars were qualifying earlier on this morning. We'll go through the drivers one by one on the grid as we flow through them. We'll also have Eric Engessa down on the grid to have a chat to a few of the drivers and a few of the personalities down there as the drivers start to form, and the grid walk will start shortly to let some of our guests and some of our partners and those in attendance here to see the cars up close and personal. And for those who are watching around the venue, whether it's in the paddock or in the grandstands, welcome to you all. Thank you for being around this weekend. Well, this is the man in form, championship leader and race 1 winner, Janek Stiak from Germany, a young star just 17 years old in the DHL team, trying to emulate his teammate from last year, Theo Overhaus, who went on to win the championship and has become a Porsche Junior for 2025. He set another blistering time in qualifying to go nearly 8/10 clear. Here we're looking for his 5th win in 6 races to try and keep up a near-perfect record. A surprise of qualifying was this man, Saud Al-Saud, the top Pro-Am driver, 2nd fastest, ahead of 2 of the top pro drivers, James Wallace and Angus Whiteside. An excellent effort from the Saudi driver. Really impressive stuff. Showed proof that the local drivers and teams really can use all their knowledge to the maximum, get themselves towards the front. Yesterday's front row man, James Wallace, will start in 3rd on the grid. He got a great start to pull himself level and in front of poleman Janek Stiak for the opening few corners, and the Porsche Junior GB driver was able to hold on only for a few moments before Stiak pulled his way through, and from there it was down to Wallace to try and give chase. And he did briefly midway through the race, but ended up having to come 2nd best. But he'll be determined to get a good start on the same side of the circuit as poleman Janek Stiak, and try to do so. Well, the rest of the top 10 we'll go through shortly, but for the moment, let's head down to our man on the ground, Eric Engessa, to give us a flavour of the atmosphere down on the grid. So, Eric, down to you. What's it like down there as we prepare for race 2?
Thank you, Scott, and also welcome here from the grid. And we see, as you mentioned already, Scotty, this is a big surprise in the qualifying. Saud Al-Saud, the young man from Saudi Racing, who is competing in the Pro-Am class, but we see him here on front row. And it's the very first time for that man here, first row, and not the very first time for you. It's Robert Lechner with me, the head and promoter. Robert, but well, it was really an outstanding show he gave us in the qualifying. First row, first time for him. A really great and outstanding performance from him.
Yes, I mean, good afternoon everyone online and everyone here on site. So definitely a great performance. I've just was wishing him good luck, and a mega performance by Saud. His first ever front row. He's been a rookie champion before in this car, in the GT3 Cup car. For his team, Saudi Racing, he's just getting the last instructions from Paul Spooner. very experienced team manager. He's basically the one who built that team up. He's also looking after the number 23 car of Khalid. So maybe we should also get a few words with Paul once he's finished. But definitely I wish all the drivers good luck for the race, a safe race, and hopefully exciting race as well. And lots of fun for the spectators here on site.
And well, not that big surprise is our pole setter today, because it's again, if the cameraman turns a bit to his right side, it's again the yellow and red car of the man who celebrated a victory yesterday. It's Jannis Diak and Robert. Well, as we mentioned, just an absolute outstanding young man on pole position.
I mean, the results speak for him. He's a super talented driver, still super young, 17 years only. He came to our championship a year ago at the age of 16. So imagine from one year to the other, he did Porsche Carrera Cup in Germany. Such a big...
The youngest winner ever in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany.
Absolutely, the youngest winner ever. And maybe he's the youngest champion ever here in the Middle East. So, like I said, good luck to everyone, but the performance Janne is showing and putting in is amazing. I can see
yeah, let's have a quick chat with Paul Spooner, who must be delighted being here in front row. Yeah, congratulations, great qualifying, and what an achievement.
Yes, we're extremely happy, and now we hope that we can convert this into a result, of course. But we're really pleased. We're really pleased with Saud. We're really pleased with Khalid. We have many months of a year where we don't race, whereas obviously the Europeans go back to Europe after this series and start their championships. And we pretty much have 6-7 months where we don't drive. So we're pushing them hard to get them to perform, and they're doing it. So fingers crossed.
There's just one car ahead, and well, of course, he's fighting for the victory in the Pro-Am class. But now it looks very promising for an overall podium. So what's the target for the race?
Well, the target is obviously to think of a long game, as in a championship. But I have told him he races for position. He's not just racing to win Pro-Am, which hopefully he can. He is racing for position in the race. So let's see.
Crossing fingers for you. Thank you very much, Paul Spooner. Good luck for the race. And well, I was looking for Harry King, the man who was here on with us yesterday. But let's see. Maybe he's somewhere here around. I'm gonna ask Robert. Robert, did you see Harry King somewhere? Because I really wanted to have a quick chat with him, the man who's so successful in the Porsche Super Cup and who's here as an instructor. Maybe
he's our DSA, so he will find himself, or we will later on need him in the race control, because he basically has to watch or mainly observe also the start, if everyone is in the right grid position. So you see those white lines here, this is the grid position. So it's very important, there's no movement. The cars are not allowed to either, once they stand still and once we have the 5-second port and the lights turn basically red, no car is allowed to move anymore. So Harry is very important.
Anyway, I have you with me, and let's talk a little bit, as we have a junior here on pole position, a little bit about the junior program, which is, I think, basically very important for the whole series and for you as a promoter. And Harry King is a part of it here.
Yes, and I'm not young anymore, but I've been a young driver once, and so I know how important it is to support young, talented drivers. For the first time with Alexandra, we have a female racing driver in the junior program. So we support them outside the car, inside the car, not just with data to improve their driving, with coaching. Like we had Pedro Lamy, ex-F1 driver, very experienced driver, multiple race winner. So it's also good to kind of create a masterclass where they can learn from the best. Harry is still a racer, one of the fastest drivers in such a cup car. So apart from helping them with the racing, with the driving, I'm also a big fan of team building. You know, we want them to spend time together, to compare data, because I think on a way to become a professional racing driver, it's also important to be very likable, very corporate outside the car, especially if you want to be attractive for Porsche or any other manufacturer worldwide.
And if we turn a little bit around, we see a very young, also promising talent from the UK. It's James Wallace. Robert, let's talk a little bit about the man who is performing in the UK. He's, well, just like Harry King was a few years ago, the Porsche Junior GB. And seems like he really has to struggle because the competition is on such a high level in the championship.
In the race, he's really good. I mean, I'm sure now, starting on the right side of the line, because this is the racing line, the left side here, it might even be easier, and he might even find it easier than from the right-hand side, because there's less grip, less traction. So it will be interesting to see how South goes. And usually he's a very good starter, so he gets it off the line really good. So the race speed, I must say, of James is really strong. And he's a junior in Great Britain, so definitely one of the young guns, as you say, to watch. But qualifying-wise, I must say, Janne is a bit in a league of his own right now, you know. He gets that one single lap always right, where you have to have your tires at the right temperature and then get sector 1, 2, and 3, like make them all purple and make sure that you end up with the fastest lap time. And I think this is something that Janne is doing really, really on a top-notch level right now. And that makes everyone struggle a little bit, because from P2 onwards to P6, 7, we are talking within a couple of tenths. So I expect a very close race.
And we have 3 different classes here in this championship. And the man who had a brilliant start yesterday, we can see him maybe a little bit in the back. It's on the 7th position. It's Søren Spreng, the Pro-Am driver for GP Elite. And well, it was an outstanding start yesterday. So what do you think, Robert? What is possible for Søren Spreng, a very experienced man who raced a lot of years in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany? We go a bit further with our cameraman to see him. Here we have James Wallace. We're talking about the man from the UK. And well, Robert, let's find our way to Søren Spreng, who I think immediately after the start was able to grab 2 positions and won the class after a quite difficult start for him into the season. So he's always a very good starter.
Now, let's find his car and let's keep talking while we're walking, because I see Thorsten, his team boss from GP Elite. And let's have a quick word also with Thorsten, because Søren is a Pro-Am champion in Germany twice in a row. He was a champion for his team GP Elite already the year before last year and last year. And here's the man behind. This is Thorsten from Team GP Elite. So we were just talking about Søren. I guess you were very happy with his performance yesterday.
Yeah, especially his start, I could imagine.
The start was very good yesterday, so I think it's a bit more difficult today because there's a bit more people to overtake for P1 in class, but for sure he should try. So it will be an exciting race again today.
And I guess for him it was a big relief after a quite difficult start into the season, a lot of DNFs, but yesterday he really showed his pace.
Yeah, it was even the first podium this year, so we didn't have the best start of the year yet, but to be on the top spot here was very nice for him. Very
But
cool.
I could imagine also very surprising that South Al South from the Pro-Am class is first row. I mean, what an achievement for him.
He did a very good job in qualifying, no, for sure. It looked very good what he showed. But hopefully his pace was only good in qualifying for us.
We will see. Thank you very much, Thorsten van Hasteren. Good race.
Thank you, good luck to us. Can we move on to Team Japan? Because
Yeah, let's do so. Let's do so. This is the winner of the masterclass last race yesterday in the night race here. It was Bexy. So yeah, let's talk a bit, Robert, about the masterclass.
Yeah, he's just getting ready, putting on his helmet. He did a great job yesterday. Great team support from all over Japan. Konnichiwa. Ganbatte kudasai, huh? Ichiban. So very good. Good team around him, good coach. So it's like a national team here at Dubai Autodrome. And great performance. Good engineer, yeah? Thomas doing a great job. And good luck for the race. The Masters category is very important for us because, I mean, obviously the car looks great. These are the only cars that are equipped with ABS and traction control for the drivers at the age over 35 who have never had a professional racing career, you know. But I can tell you he's doing a very professional job here, not just looking professional, also racing and driving very professional. So this is also exciting to see in all 3 categories how the drivers perform really. It's a lot of pressure for them. It's not easy. It's never easy in a cup car.
Great to see that you still didn't lose all your Japanese as you were racing in Japan, right? It was an amazing time, I can imagine.
A long time ago. I was racing for Tom's Toyota in Formula 3 in the year 2000, which is 25 years ago. But I have a big sympathy for the country, for the culture in Japan. Yes, so thumbs up. All the best. Ganbatte ne? You're welcome. Ganbatte. Ganbatte ne? Thanks for coming. Mata today. See you later.
Okay, Robert, I think we will also clear the grid now. Yeah, Banksy, good luck for the race. After his victory yesterday, I'm sure he's full of self-confidence. And we're looking forward to great racing like yesterday. And Scotty, it's up to you.
Thank you very much, Eric, and to Rob, and to everyone that we've spoken to on the grid. And thank you again to everyone who's around the circuit as well. And a massive thank you to all the partners of the championship, of course, to Lechner Racing, to Michelin, and of course to the branding, I think it's Splendid Yachting as well, who are the championship sponsors on top of that as well. Thanks for all their support. So the grid is now beginning to be cleared. We're roughly about just under 15 minutes away from race start here for race number 2 of the weekend of the Dubai leg of the 2024-25 Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East Championship. Those watching on the screens will see Krista Andero, who's had a personal best qualifying from this season so far. He starts 9th after in previous races he qualified outside the top 10. This is his first top 10 start. The Swede, plenty of experience in Porsche Carrera Cup Scandinavia. A solid lap in qualifying earlier on this morning has put him on the 5th row of the grid and inside the top 10 for the first time. This man wasn't too bad either in the session. Peter Brecker at one point. He is going to start from 11th on the grid. That for him is not his best qualifying. That was back at Bahrain at the start of the season for race 1 back in 9th. But he's another one to watch for in the Masters category who could definitely be in contention for a Masters podium. And so the Czech driver for GT Sports Technology, another top team that has experiences in Porsches, certainly enjoying running with him too. And here's a woman who's got plenty of people talking on the grid, and for good reason. She's the only woman in Carrera Cup Middle East history thus far, Alexandra Vateva. She is a Porsche junior. She is 20 years old. She's only been racing for about 4 or 5 years, but is already so determined to make her racing career a success, and it's great to have her on the grid here in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. Her fellow Bulgarian, if I can get my words out, Mike Mim, starts behind her directly physically on the grid in 12th place. He came into the weekend leading the Masters standing. So Mike, who is America-based and usually does a lot of racing in Porsche Carrera Cup and Sprint Challenge North America. A few endurance races. He's also scored a top 10s in as well for Porsches. He's certainly one to watch out for if he can get back on the podium. Great to also have Stanislav Minsky once again running under the Kyrgyzstan flag for Team GP Elite, another top Porsche Carrera Cup team. And he was here last weekend racing at the 24 Hours of Dubai, where he managed to get a solid finish in the mix. So as the cars move off the grid, as we mentioned, there are 3 classes. There's the Pro class, Pro-Am class, and the Masters class. That's for drivers aged 40 and over. And the drivers cannot have held an International B or International A license. That means you get some real enthusiasts of the championship. A welcome this weekend to Caleb Sumich from Australia. He starts this second race from 6th on the grid, 1 place better than he managed yesterday. Made a good up a couple of positions, moved up to 4th and finished in the top 5 in the end, behind this man who filled out the top of the bottom of the podium, Angus Whiteside, who is the Pro-Am champion in Porsche Carrera Cup GB, his first international racing. And it's crazy to think that he only started circuit racing full stop in 2021 in the Ginetta GT Academy in the rookie class. Won that rookie class almost at a canter, and then from 2022 has been part of the Porsche family ever since. Khalid Al-Ahmadi in the second of the 2 Saudi racing cars. He'll be one to watch from the 3rd row of the grid in 5th. Both of the Saudi racing cars in the top 5. Really impressive stuff, but it's no surprise that Paul Spooner, the team boss for Saudi Racing, is delighted with the efforts of both of his charges. And those 2 Saudi drivers have got plenty of experience underneath them. Khalid Al-Ahmadi, for example, as we see Banksy, the Japanese driver as part of Porsche Carrera Cup Japan. And for those watching who know the man Banksy, no, this is not the UK artist who mysteriously keeps himself anonymous. This is a completely different person altogether. Banksy, who has experience in Porsche Carrera Cup Japan, has a good team around him and was Masters winner last night in the first race of the season. But in terms of the Saudi racing drivers, Khalid Al-Ahmadi debuted in Porsche Carrera Sprint Challenge Middle East in a Cayman in 2022, moved into the GT3 cars, the Cup cars in 2023, and last year managed to take 4th in the Pro-Am standings in this championship. 2 wins, 5 total podiums and 2 poles. Well, as you can see, the grandstands, both on the main grandstand and on the balconies here, are packed for the people. Great to see so many people around the circuit, by the circuit, and also in the paddock too. If you're watching on the seating area in the paddock, again, hello to all of you. Make sure you give these guys a wave and a cheer, because they do deserve it, because they are racing here for your entertainment, and also for the fact that they have a championship to contend with, not just in Pro-Am and overall, but also in the Pro class, the Masters and the Rookies, and the GCC as well for the local golf drivers on top of that as well. So the last few preparations being made on the grid. The grid has been cleared apart from their 1 essential personnel team member. And fans young and old enjoying the atmosphere this weekend at Dubai Autodrome. This is, of course, a UAE double header, because next weekend, if you're in the region, if you want to come and see these cars up close but aren't here in Dubai just yet, but you will be next week, might want to stick around next weekend, because up the road, about an hour from the Dubai Autodrome, is where you'll find the Abu Dhabi circuit, Yas Marina, and that's where the next rounds will happen. So here's the grid then for the second race of the weekend here at Dubai. Janis Stiak, championship leader, race 1 winner yesterday, and pole sitter once more for the 5th time in 6 races. Starts alongside Saud Al Saud, his best qualifying effort of the season from the front row for Saudi racing. The 2 Brits, James Wallace and Angus Whiteside, who was 2nd and 3rd yesterday, start for 3rd and 4th. Put James Wallace, the Porsche Junior GB, and the personal Huber competition car in 4th on the grid. Khaled Al Ahmadi makes it 2 Saudi cars in the top 5. Caleb Sumich starting 6th, the young Australian, on the 3rd row of the grid. Soren Spreng, who won the Pro-Am class yesterday, starts 7th. He can get another lightning start to get up and make a couple of places. And yet last night's Masters winner Banksy starts alongside him on the 4th row. Row 5, a personal best this season for Krista Andera for Proton Huber competition. The Swede starting alongside the rapid young Bulgarian lady Alexandra Vateva, who we're looking to get a good result from 10th after she was held up in qualifying on her fast lap. She wants to try and move forwards from the base of the top 10. Outside it, Peter Brecker, 11th fastest for GT Sports Technology, the Czech driver, alongside the incoming Masters points leader to the weekend, Mike Mim, also from Bulgaria. And at the back of the field, it is the Kyrgyzstan driver, Stanislav Minsky, in the 2nd of the Team GP Elite machines. And the fact that we have teams like GP Elite, Proton Huber competition, GT Sports Technology, some top teams that compete around the world, not just in the Super Cup, but in the regional and national championships. That just shows the credibility of this championship, which is one of 12 national and regional official Porsche Carrera Cup championships. If you look down the entire spectrum, it's not just Middle East. You can find all sorts across just about the entire spectrum of the globe. That's not just in Middle East, but also in Asia, Australia, Benelux, Brazil, France, Germany, Great Britain, Italy, Japan, Scandinavia, and North America. It really does span almost the length and breadth of the entire globe, Porsche Carrera Cup. And these cars are all identical wherever you go. They are, of course, 500 brake horsepower, rear-engined, rear-wheel drive, all Michelin Pilot Sport slick-shod cars, paddle shift gearboxes, 6-speed sequential, dog boxes. They are absolutely fantastic machines, and they look, sound, and race the part wherever they go. They are pure, thoroughbred racing machines that require a perfect mix, as Martin Haven said in Bahrain, of aggression and finesse. You need to really push these cars as much as possible, but be smooth whilst you do it. So the temperatures are a little bit higher than they were last night. Of course, we're racing in daytime conditions rather than under the cover of darkness under the lights. The weather at the moment so far, 23 degrees, right about 24 kilometers an hour, winds, 40% humidity, as the Porsche Cayman safety car decides to wait at the end of the pit lane and be in position and ready to go. So in a few moments' time, they will get the signal to close doors. Engines will begin to fire. And in a moment's time, Dubai Autodrome once again will reverberate to the sound of flat 6 Porsche racing engines. Janis Stiak, championship leader coming into the weekend. Race 1 winner yesterday. He so far has 4 wins from the first 5 races and a 2nd place. And came into the weekend with a lead of some 24 points prize this weekend from James Wallace and Angus White. So if you want live timing and results, you can go to getraceresults.com at the bottom of the screen and follow along. You'll also have timing on the top left of the screen once racing gets underway. Engines firing on the grid then as we get set for race 2 of the weekend at Dubai Autodrome. Once this race is complete, we'll hit the halfway point in the season for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. It's been quite the journey so far, from Bahrain to Qatar and now to the Dubai Autodrome. And we still have Yas Marina, a return leg to Bahrain, and the finale in Jeddah to go. The cars set off on their formation lap, and they will weave from side to side to generate heat and pressure into the tyres. They'll also generate as much heat and pressure into the brakes to get them nice and warm in the optimal temperatures and ready for the start, which is going to be oh so crucial. You cannot make practice starts when you get round to the grid, so all the work to get these cars on the optimal range has to be done on this one single formation lap. So Dubai Autodrome, a massive, magnificent facility. Essentially it was the genesis of racing within the Middle East, a fantastic facility that you can see the skyline continuing to be built around it, even some 20 years later when it was first put together. And Dubai Autodrome has done a fantastic job, completed back in 2004, and of course running on the full Grand Prix layout, 3.349 miles, 5.39 kilometers, Lap record around here set by Teo Overhaus in qualifying a 1:59.8. So you can just about go sub 2 minutes around this circuit. And Janusz Stiak nearly did that in qualifying yesterday. He did a 2 minutes 0.3 that put him about half a second off a lap record, which is pretty impressive by Porsche Carrera Cup standards. He really is a young star, Janusz Stiak, 17 years old. Was the youngest driver in the championship at 16 last year. Finished just outside the top 10 in Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland standings, but got his first win and became the youngest ever Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland winner at Sachsenring. Also picked up in his one cameo appearance in Carrera Cup Italy, a victory at Imola, and was a solid contender last year, but had to come second best to his teammate Teo Overhaus. But now picking up where Teo left off, he certainly is one to be formidable. Now the two Brits on the second row of the grid, particularly watch for James Wallace. He is quite a demon starter. He managed to get a good drive off the line in last night's race from the front row of the grid. Did pull level with Jana and did get his nose in front and led the opening few corners before Jana managed to force a mistake and muscle his way back through. And from there, it was good night, Irene, I'm gone. And as much as James pushed, as much as he dared, he couldn't quite get close enough. I've been intrigued to see how Angus Whiteside gets on in the black and purple. Last year's Porsche Carrera Cup GB Pro-Am champion. First time racing on the continent. All his racing's been done back in the UK. And a big question mark also that we'll be interested to try and answer is what will the two Saudi cars do, in particular Saud Al Saud from the front row of the grid, and could he, on the same side that Wallace was on the front row of the grid last night, could he get a better start than Janusz Stiak? Or has Jana begun to work on that overnight to figure out exactly what he needs to do to minimise the wheel spin? The cars make their way around the 16-turn, 17-turn Grand Prix circuit. Now make their way onto the final few positions on the grid. So, pole position for Janusz Stiak on the front in red and yellow. Alongside him on the front row of the grid, Saud Al Saud. They were magic last night. Now let's see how they do in the daylight. Race number 2 of the weekend for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East 2025. Green flag at the back of the circuit. 5 red lights. 6,500 horsepower of Porsche Flat 6 racing engine ready to rumble here in Dubai. 5 red lights. And we're racing in Dubai once more, and again it's a better start for the front row from Saud Al Saud. Janusz Stiak's been beaten almost again. Another great start from James Wallace as they charge down towards turn 1. Wallace already level with Saud Al Saud as they make their way down towards T1. On the outside in the background, Alexander Vateva goes 3 wide with Banksy and Krista Andguera going down the outside. But James Wallace goes past Saud Al Saud, has the inside for turn 2 and runs wide. He goes over the runoff area. He'll have to give the place back because he's passed him off the road, so that move won't stick. But through the first few corners they go. Wallace leads, but he's going to have to give that place back, I'm sure. Meanwhile, in the background, Soren Spring and Caleb Sumich are going side by side in a lock-up for Saud Al Saud. He goes deep into turn 7. Way too deep. Comes back on the road in front of his teammate. Now, Stiak does get through, but Wallace is now on the outside for turn 9. It's a bank left-hander. You carry all the momentum through onto turn 10. Now, is there a chance here that Wallace could get the toe down the back straight? He's in position. And now as they head towards turn 10 on the back straight for the first time. James Wallace in the toe towards the hairpins. The big stop here from 250 kilometres an hour all the way down the brakes. And Stiak goes defensive. He's not comfortable on the racing line as here comes James Wallace down the outside into turn 10. Looks for the undercut, but Stiak parks it on the apex. Forcer wants to go the other side. Nothing doing yet. You can see in the mid-pack there, Alexander Vateva getting stuck in with Banksy. That's to make up a couple of places. And now up towards the hairpin at the right-hander. Turn through. Stiak leads with Wallace right on his rear wing. Angus Whiteside in 3rd place, and Saud Al Saud, after a brilliant qualifying, it looked as though he initially got a brilliant start. James Wallace's was simply better. He beat him down the outside into turn 1, and then just running too deep into turn 6 and 7 didn't really help him. And this time, compared to last night, James Wallace is not letting Janusz Stiak escape on the opening lap. Out of the final few corners, up towards turn 17. As they come onto the pit straight, or turn 16, to end the first lap. A little wayward there on the exit for Janusz Stiak, trying to exit, as they come up to end lap number 1. Stiak leads the way, the championship leader. James Wallace in 2nd place on his tail. Angus Whiteside is 3rd. Saud Al Saud is 4th. Then it's Khaled Al-Akmadi, his teammate, in 5th position. Caleb Sumich is up 1 spot from 6th. 7th is Soren Spring. 8th is Banksy, who leads the Masters class. A good aggressive start from Alexandra Vateva getting her elbows out. She made a couple of passes down the outside and is up to 9th place. Then Peter Brecker, Mike Mim, then Stanislav Minsky. Something I think has happened to Krista Andero, because he's dropped down the order and hasn't come across the line yet as far as, well, he has come across the line, but he's way down the order at the back of the field. Was 20 seconds off the leader when he came past the timing line. So, plenty of action on the first few corners in race number 2. Hopefully everyone watching around the circuit and in the paddock is enjoying it. They make their way now out of this long bank turn of turn 9 and now down the back straight. So, Stiak leading the way, Wallace in second place, Whiteside third, the 2 Saudi cars in 4th and 5th. The top 8 or 9 cars are all together in a line here. There's only a break back to 10th place where Peter Brecker is under pressure from Mike Mim, and that's over 2nd place in Masters class. So they turn their way as the hairpin. You can see at the back of that queue Alexandra Vateva, so she's not letting the second half of the top 10 get away. That's good initial progress from Alexandra. She came on pretty strong in the second half of the race, particularly in the latter laps, because she was one of the fastest drivers on the circuit. She looked after her tyres a little more than the cars in front, and that will certainly help. If she can do that again and stick with this group, she's got real potential to start making up some places, maybe in the second half of the race. So it's 30 minutes or 14 laps, whichever elapses first. And this could be a battle here. You can see 4th place down to 10th, 6 of them in a line. It's Al Saud, Ahmadi, Sumic, Spreng, Banksy and Vateva. That's the dozen, half dozen. Out through turn 16, end of lap number 2. And let's see. So Janusz Stierk already lighting up the timing screens purple. Across the line, has already pulled out a gap of nearly a second over James Wallace in P2. Whiteside staying close. He's another 1.4 seconds back on Wallace. And then this Super 6. Al Saud, Al Ahmadi, Sumic, Spreng, Banksy, Vateva. Watch for this 6-pack. They might be providing the bulk of the entertainment. That's if James Wallace can't keep up with the pace of Janusz Stiak. The young German who certainly has proven to be one real talent here. And again, just as it was yesterday, an initial challenge from James Wallace. He did pass him off the road, but he gave the place back in the next few corners, so all is well. And you can see here as they turn out of turn 8 and then this long banked corner of turn 9 helps you slingshot your way onto this back straight, where it's the fastest part of the course. It's hitting some 250, 255 kilometers an hour in top gear in 6th, and then punch it down through the gears on that paddle shift gearbox down to 2nd, all the way. The brakes glowing red, as you saw last night. See there, Caleb Sumic in number 14, the plain silver car, just on the tail of Al Ahmadi for a place in the top 5. Here is this group of cars we've been talking about. And it only takes one slip from somebody in this group and it can change the whole complexion of the race behind the top 3. Wide there from Al Ahmadi, tighter run through the hairpin of turn 12 for Sumic, and now Soren Spreng, who was yesterday's Pro-Am winner, is also in the mix too. He's in the wonderfully liveried fluoro yellow and 2-tone blue car, is diving up the inside in towards turn 14, goes Caleb Sumic. Al Ahmadi looks for the cut back, and there's almost a bit of a concertina effect there. It was almost Al Ahmadi into the back of Sumic, and Spreng into the back of Al Ahmadi. But they've all come out of it unscathed. That will also bring both Banksy and Vateva into the mix as well. Here comes Spreng up the inside into turn 16. Has a speculative little look up the inside, puts himself onto Al Ahmadi's rear wing. Now he's got track position on the inside line, and the pair will go nearly side by side. Hoping for the side draft here is the Carrera Cup Deutschland Pro-Am champion. Behind you can see Alexandra Vateva posturing around the rear wing of Banksy for position. And down the inside into turn 1 does go Soren Spreng, and up into position he goes. That is into 6th place. So actually, this is 4th down to 9th. So Alexandra Vateva into 9th place now. So she might be able to make up a spot if she's able to find a way around Banksy. And they're closing up here. Out of 3, 4, 5 and 6. Got to be careful with track limits, because in the driver's briefing on Friday they were talking about they were monitoring several corners on this circuit for track limits. In particular, the apexes of turns 1, 2, the turn 5 and 6 chicane, the exit of turn 9, which is here onto this long back straight, exit of turn 12, of turn 13 and the last corner. So you're allowed to keep at least one one wheel on the white line, but go beyond that too much and have nothing on all 4 wheels across the white line on the edge of the circuit. That can either spell lap times deleted, or it can spell a time penalty if you transgress too much. So everyone trying to mind their P's and Q's whilst keeping up the pace. The top 3 sweep through the shot. There goes Saud Al Saud, followed by Sumic. And that's Banksy a little wide there, exiting turn 12. That might give the chance for Alexandra Vateva. In between races, I think she was working with their driver coach, Robert De Haan, who was joining me for qualifying. He's the rookie champion for the Porsche Super Cup. The one thing he was trying to get her to do was be a little more aggressive, to line up, go for the move and really get in there. And I think she can be at least pleased with the pace that she's got. She's on the tail of the Masters winner from last year. There she is in silver with the orange and pink flashes. And at the very least, this is really good progress, a chance for her to test her racecraft. Cross the line go the leaders once more. 4 laps in the books in race 2 of the weekend at Dubai Autodrome. And Vateva just moving around, putting herself into Banksy's mirrors, one way then the other. Any more confidence, she'll be starting to flash the headlights. So Stiak still leads, now with a 2.3 second advantage already after 4 laps from James Wallace. Whiteside in 3rd, so that both the Brits are holding on station in 2nd and 3rd places. And again, a little wayward there for Banksy. This is the battle for position for 8th place, and Banksy having to go really strict on the inside line to defend. This is prime opportunity for Vateva to have a look. And again, Banksy misses the apex through 7, now looks through the kink of 8, and now into turn 9. And this is really where Vateva's got Banksy on the ropes. He goes wide on the apex of the corner, through goes Vateva. Lovely smooth pass up the inside. Alexandra Vateva makes up a place and is up into 8th position. Now, can she defend it as Banksy comes back at her in the tow down towards turn 10? Gap from 4th backwards go down, and Banksy a little wayward on the brakes, but gets it anchored up and just staying on the tail of the young Bulgarian. But the pressure that Vateva was applying was pretty consistent. She forced the mistake, saw the opportunity, threw it up the inside. Thank you very much, Banksy. I'll go chase the cars in front if you don't mind. So here she goes, up into 8th place. That will certainly please driver coach Robert De Haan and the team down in the garage. Lap time wise at the front, yeah, last lap, for example, for Janusz Stiak, as we look at this, was a 2:02.0. Here are the leaders. He's on the 2:02.0s, 2:02.6 for Wallace, 2:02.9 for Angus Whiteside. And then it was personal best actually for Caleb Sumic, who did a 2:02.8. There is the young Australian. So he's lapping at the same pace as the leaders in the 2:02s. 5 laps in the books here at Dubai Autodrome. There is Vateva. As they wind their way through turns 1, this long downhill turn of the first corner. That's a real test for trail braking. And you flick left, the double apex of 3 and 4, then 5 and 6, a long right-hander. 7's a more tighter apex. And then it's a kink of 8, and then that long banked corner loops them all the way around onto the back straight towards turn 10. So this is a close battle here between Soren Spreng and Khaled Al Ahmadi. You can see 2 drivers with 2 very different philosophies of corner entry. Tighter exit for Al Ahmadi. We saw that Spreng there was a little wider into his approach on the corner, tried to almost V off the corner, whereas Al Ahmadi went for the more U-shaped approach of the corner. Saud Al Saud, after his heroics in qualifying this morning, not quite on the same pace as the leaders, but still leading in Pro-Am category. Now, interestingly enough, Alexandra Vateva is the next car she's got to try and catch and pass is the man in 3rd place in the Pro-Am category. And that's Khaled Al Ahmadi. Now, remember yesterday, Caleb Sumic is breaking out the headlight flashing, classic distraction technique. Certainly applied his craft, probably using some of that in Porsche Sprint Challenge Australia, where he finished 4th in the championship. But if you remember back to yesterday's race, whilst these guys were fighting, particularly the 2 Saudi drivers and Soren Spreng and the others around them, Alexandra did manage her tyres very well. was able to put in some good laps to start catching, as Caleb Sumich does not give his tyres any break by locking up and missing the apex of the final corner. And that in turn has lost him a couple of car lengths. I was mentioning that Alexandra is very good at making her tyres last into the second half of the race. So she can start to close the gap to the cars in front. She's got both of the cars in third and second in Pro-Am ahead, so maybe there's an opportunity in the second half to start to close in. Look at lap times. Personal best last time by for Soren Spreng and Alak Mardi, which won't have necessarily helped Alexandra too much, but keeping them in touch. And it only takes these two to fight amongst each other to not only allow Caleb Sumich to make a break and Saud Al Saud, but for the cars behind, immediately being Vateva and Banksy, to pull themselves into contention. Seen there's been a track limits infringement and a warning for a couple of cars, one of which is car 23, Khaled Alak Mardi, and the other one is James Wallace in second place. So both of them being warned not to stray over the white lines too much. It's at the exit of turn 16. So be careful not to move across that too much. So far, neat and tidy, nice and steady in this first half of the race. Coming up to half distance in terms of laps. Because we're on lap 7, 6 laps completed in the books. Watching Caleb Sumich debut in the championship this weekend, not in debut in Porsches, but in the Middle East Championship certainly is his first appearance. We had Jackson Walls, who joined us last year, who was from Australia. So another driver from down under, giving the Middle East Championship a try. So the group of cars here, there's Angus Whiteside going through the bottom of shot in third place in a bit of no man's land really in a race of his own. Really catching the cars in front for first and second, but not being caught by Saud Al Saud or Sumich either. Looking at the head of the field whilst we see these guys, James Wallace is matching Janusz Stiak for pace, but the gap is still 2.7 seconds out in front. So Wallace is currently running at Stiak's pace, but he can't get any closer. And that must be really frustrating. There are the leaders. The red and yellow flash you saw there was Janusz Stiak. The black car was James Wallace. Black and purple was Angus Whiteside. And the Saudi cars are quite easy to spot. They are in green and white. The all-silver car there, without a particular sponsor livery, is Caleb Sumich's car. There it is, in car 14. It's almost like the default livery for that car in silver. I'd argue that the best-looking car on the grid, in personally, not to have too many favourites, but probably this car right here, the Soren Spreng machine, number 5. Really nice two-tone blue and yellow. Those are my kind of colours. And Soren, of course, winning it last night. He wants to try and make it 2 from 2. He's currently on course for a second place. Well, that was James Wallace there, I think, going a little deep into the hairpin at turn 10. So maybe he's lost a couple more car lengths to Stiak in front. Last time by, looking at lap times, keeping on that battle for third place, in second and third in Pro-Am. Fastest of the trio battling over those podium places, Alexandra Vateva. 204.3 for Alexandra compared to a 203.4 for Soren Spreng, 203.7 for Khaled Alak Mardi. So maybe this is the opportunity that Alexandra needs. We're coming on the second half of the race now. And again, he's looked after her tyres, kept the cars in front, pretty close. There's an opportunity here or two. Should give a shout out to the Masters category. Still Banksy who leads the way from Japan. Leads the way by 5 seconds from Peter Brecker in second place, the Czech driver. Mike Mim in third place, Krista Andero fourth. And Stanislav Minsky in 5th position for Kyrgyzstan. Caleb Sumich is closing in a little more on Saud Al Saud. It's for track position rather than class position, because Caleb Sumich is a pro driver. Pro-Am class for Saud Al Saud. So this won't change anything in terms of any more points that Caleb will score. But certainly another place higher in the overall running won't hurt. And the two of them are just keeping Angus Whiteside in their sights. He's not too far away, which is quite interesting. Sumich now just arriving onto the rear wing of Al Saud as they come through 8 and 9. Al Saud actually runs very wide and almost just opens the door and lets Caleb through. That's either him just recognising, I'm not in the same class, this is not my fight. Either that, he wants to have a bit of a play on track here. He's now, that was either a mistake or he's decided to have a bit of a race here with the young Australian. And they go side by side down the back straight towards turn 10. Sumic has the inside line. And the move is complete, so no retaliation as much for Saud Al Saud, and I imagine that he was just making a bit of a race of it. There goes Spreng, Alec Mardi. And the gap between Alec Mardi and Vateva is 2.4 seconds at this point. And Vateva was about a tenth quicker that last lap. But she needs the cars in front to have their tyres fall off a little more in order to stand a better chance of possibly getting himself a podium. A couple more cars being warned of track limits, one of which is Alec Mardi. And if he's not careful, he's on his third offence, so if he continues to transgress, he might even find himself with a time penalty, but that's down for the stewards to decide rather than me to speculate. And the other car that's also being warned for a second offence is Mike Mim as well. So he's had another one exiting turn 9 as well. So again, a couple of drivers just on the bubble in terms of being allowed what they can get away with. On to lap 10 of 14. It's 14 laps or 30 minutes, whichever comes first. There is Saud Al Saud, still the Pro-Am leader. Soren Spreng behind him. What's the gap between first and second in that class? It is 2 seconds, and Soren Spreng was nearly a full second quicker. So actually this might not be done for Pro-Am, and Saud Al Saud there was wiggling around on exit. He's not happy with traction. So I wonder if, again, Saud Al Saud has possibly taken too much out of his tyres. He's losing time to Caleb Sumic in front. And now there's a chance that Soren Spreng could be looking, if he plays his cards right, at 2 wins from 2 races here at the Autodrome. And the back straight. And just in shot for a moment there was all of our 4 Pro-Am drivers. We'll also say as well, Alexandra Vateva was 8 tenths quicker than Khaled Alec Mardi in front. She's got the gap down to 1.5 seconds. So this Pro-Am battle, while it might be pretty much settled by 3.5 seconds at the moment between Stiak and Wallace out in front, I think we could be shaping up on these last few laps for potentially quite an interesting little battle in Pro-Am here between the 4 cars, because Soren Spreng is catching Saud Al Saud, Vateva is catching Ahmadi, so I wonder if the 2 Saudi cars are just taking a little bit too much out of their tyres here. And they're starting to fall back a little bit. So there goes Sumic, there goes Saud, there is, just to the right-hand side of shot there, Soren Spreng, last year's Pro-Am champion in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Make the way onto the pit straight now. 4 laps to go in this race. So you've got roughly around about, what, 8 and a bit minutes for one of these 4 in the shot, excluding Sumic at the front, to make a move and change something. So gaps between, respectively, it's a gap of 1.6 between Al Saud and Spreng was half a second quicker. Spreng was a tenth slower than Alec Mardi, and that Alec Mardi was then 2 tenths quicker than Vateva. So it's relatively stayed status quo. Out through turn 7. Now through turns 8 and 9. Sumic actually is trying to go after Angus Whiteside here. His last lap was a 2 minutes 3.4, 4 tenths quicker than Angus Whiteside. So the GB Pro-Am champion possibly could come under threat if Caleb gains enough time from the young superstar from Australia. And that's the great thing. We've got so many drivers who are from different areas of the Porsche Carrera Cup spectrum across the globe, the 12 different championships, the vast majority of which are represented in some way by some of the experience that the drivers have had throughout their careers. It's great that we've got, I think the only exceptions we have that don't have any experience are probably France and Brazil. I think we don't have any drivers that have experience in those championships, but the rest in which the other 10 definitely have some kind of representation, or drivers that are from that region. And that's just how attractive Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East is. We talked about it in qualifying, the fact that drivers who their regular seasons in Carrera Cup might be finished and might not be starting until March, April time, they get the chance to keep their hand in, keep racing, and to ultimately just shake off the race rustiness from the winter and just carry on racing. And it means they could be a little more prepared than some of their rivals, which is always a good thing. So this Pro-Am battle, let's check in with that as we come to 3 laps to go at the Autodrome. And let's look at the times. There is Saud Al Saud, the Pro-Am leader. Let's look at his lap times this time by. So it's a 2:04.2 for Al Saud, 2:04.1 for Soren Spreng, a 2:04.1 for Khaled Ahmadi, and a 2:04.0 for Alexandre Vateva. So out of the 4 Pro-Am drivers, Vateva currently is the quickest. But it's tenths it's a couple of tenths here and there being taken out, rather than half a second or 3/4 of a second or more time than that. He needs to take out more of that to close these gaps up. So it's 1.5 seconds between Al Saud and Spreng. It is 2.1 seconds between Spreng and Al Ahmadi, and it's 1.7 between Al Ahmadi and Vateva. So it's these 4 almost in the shot together. There they are. If they are closing, the gaps are only ebbing and flowing by a tenth or 2 each time. You need someone, for this to really change, we need to have someone have a big lock-up or a mistake somewhere, or for their tyres to really fall off the cliff in order to change the order of what happens here. And one I'm going to watch out for also is that possible fight for third in Pro Class, because looking at the sectors, Caleb Sumich is already 4 tenths quicker than Angus Whiteside in the first sector alone. So he's got the gap down to 2.2 seconds. So that might not be done either. That could be interesting. Out of the hairpin at turn 12 they go. And then back down the hill again towards 13 and 14. There is Vateva. Let's see how they're doing sector-wise. She's lost about 3 tenths in that first sector. Lost half a second in the first sector as well. So he's lost about 8 tenths, lost about a second on this lap so far. Still Saud Al Saud holding on as the leaders come across the line to start the penultimate lap of the race. Still Stiak leading now by a fraction under 5 seconds. James Wallace in second place. Angus Whiteside still in third, but he is being caught by Caleb Sumich. Let's look at the sectors last time. Okay, yeah, it was. So Whiteside lost 4 tenths in the first sector, another tenth in the second sector, and both drivers matched each other in sector 3, difference of about 4 thousandths of a second. So they're pretty much evenly matched, but Whiteside lost half a second on that lap. So 1.7 is all that separates them. Can Caleb Sumich find 1.7 seconds and pass Whiteside in 2 more laps? Interesting question to pose. We'll find out the answer pretty soon. Quick check-in with the Masters, of course. Banksy still leads the way by quite a margin, by some nearly 10 seconds from Peter Brecker in second place. Then Mike Mim, Krista Andero and Stanislav Binsky. So whatever trouble Krista Andero had early in the race, he's managed to recover and pick up a place on the Kyrgyzstan driver. Again, there you see Whiteside a little deep on the brakes and towards turn 10, I noticed there. He was a little bit offline, and that will only help Sumich. In the first sector again, another 4 tenths gained. So the gap is now, yeah, another 4 tenths pulled back. That brings the gap down to, what, 1.3? So it's the first sector where Caleb is more confident. It's visibly closer, you can see, between the 2 cars. What about the Pro-Am gaps? It is 1.2 between Al Saud and Spreng, 2.2 between Spreng and Al Ahmadi, and 2.3 between Al Ahmadi and Vateva. There she is. And so the leaders then come back around to start the final lap of the race, and indeed, in fact, the whole weekend here at Dubai Autodrome. And as for that man right there, 17-year-old Janusz Stiak, at the moment, he is on course to emulate his teammate from last year, Theo Overhaus, who's now become a Porsche junior driver. And I remind you, 17 years old, became the youngest winner ever in Porsche Carrera Cup Deutschland history when he took his first win of the championship, his first career win at Sachsenring. And since then, has just clicked with these Porsches and worked really, really well so far. Out through turns 5, turn 6, and into 7. Wasn't just a winner last year in Germany, had a one-off appearance in Carrera Cup Italia and took a win there too. And so far, he is currently on a near flawless record, 4 wins from the first 5 races. And about half a lap's time, if all is well, he will go from 4 wins in 5 to 5 wins in 6. As for James Wallace, second in the championship, currently a pair of second places he's on course for. Solid results for the Porsche GB Junior. He's had quite a whirlwind career too in cars. Started back in Citroen Saxos and then moved up to the BRSUC Fiesta Junior Championship. Finished in the top 3 in that year. And then moved through. And Angus Whiteside, though, in 3rd place, runs deep into turn 10. Now then, this is Caleb Sumic's best chance. He's as close as he's ever been. And Whiteside here, possibly with his tyres struggling. Is he going to come under pressure? Also, Soren Spreng has got the gap down between himself and Al Saud to less than a second. But they just need one more lap at least to make that happen, I think. And I wonder if Whiteside and Al Saud are safe respectively in their current positions, 3rd and 5th. There is James Wallace, who has pushed as hard as he dares, but he's going to have to settle for 2nd best because there is simply no stopping this young man. Janusz Diak, championship leader, won under the lights last night. Now he'll win so in the daytime, and it will be 5 wins from 6 races with victory and the double at Dubai Autodrome for Janusz Diak. He completes the sweep at Dubai Autodrome to take victory in race number 2. It's once again 2nd place for James Wallace and a solid runner-up spot for more great points. Now for 3rd place, it's a sprint to the line, but Angus Whiteside only just holds on by 0.8 of a second from Caleb Sumic in 4th. And Saud Al Saud, after a front row start, does hold on to take the Pro-Am victory. A solid drive despite pressure in the later stages from Soren Spreng in 2nd place. Khaled Al-Akmali will fill out the top 3. And credit has to go to Alexandra Vateva, a much more competitive race today. And certainly was in the mix to set some good lap times and get towards the front and try to put the pressure on the cars in front of her too. As for the Masters category, Banksy takes the victory for Japan. So that's 2 from 2 for him for the Porsche Carrera Cup Japan driver. It's Peter Brecker in 2nd place for the Czech Republic. And Mike Mim, who came into the weekend as the points leader, will take the flag in 3rd place from Krista Andero and Stanislav Minsky. So another excellent occasion all round for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. And with that, the first half of the season is complete. 6 races down, now 6 more to go. And you've only got to wait barely a week before we do it all again. Just up the road an hour from here, from the Autodrome at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi, when these drivers, and hopefully perhaps a few more, will join in to make it another magnificent spectacle of Porsche Carrera Cup racing. But you can't deny there is one man they all have to try and beat, and it's that man right there. Number 40, the DHL racing machine, Janusz Diak. And again, these top drivers keep getting younger and younger and younger. 17 years old, youngest driver in the championship. Other young talents like James Wallace, Alexandra Vateva, who are 20 or under, just shows that the quality of driver increases, but as it does so, also the age of the driver decreases too. Shout out to Saud Al Saud. Again, a magnificent effort in qualifying to get a front row spot. And got a decent start initially, but wasn't able to maintain it and dropped back after he made a mistake at turn 6. Ran wide and then lost the positions, but it was enough for him to still hold on. Angus Whiteside trying to pick up as much rubber as possible and dirt to make sure his car is how it should be when it arrives in Parc Fermé. And another brilliant result from all involved. And if you're around the circuit, if you're watching around the podium area or around in the grandstands, if you can hear it, do give these drivers a wave, give them a round of applause, because they have been fantastic and they have been entertaining. And so as the leaders come into the pit lane, they will stop at the top of the pit lane. If you're watching around the circuit, they will be conducting podium presentations at the specially built podium in the paddock, so do be sure to join us. It was a brilliant occasion last night, announcing the winners. But up to the #1 board for the 2nd time this weekend and for the 5th time this season, it is 17-year-old German superstar Janusz Diak, championship leader, and essentially has had the perfect record, so to speak. Pretty much lights the flag in both races, both pole positions, and essentially almost both the fastest laps as well. He was the only man that got into the 2-minute ones in that race. And he's quite a reserved young man, 70 for his age, but still looks pretty content with a good day's work and a good weekend's work that he can carry on into the next round at Yas Marina in a few days' time. James Wallace should still be satisfied with second place. As any racing driver, they want to win, but still, it's a couple of solid P2s to give him good points in the championship, to stay in contention for a top 3. You can see he's got a BRDC Rising Star badge as well, well earned, of course, and he is the junior driver for Porsche Carrera Cup GB, the official Porsche Junior from Great Britain, following the footsteps of the likes of Harry King. And there is Janusz Stiak's family and team, and Eric is also down there as well. So we will hopefully in a moment be able to hand down to Eric and have a chat with our race 2 winner, Janusz Stiak. So let's head down to Eric in the pit lane to have a chat to our championship leader, the one and only Janusz Stiak.
Thank you, Scott. Some kind of deja vu for me here in the Parc Fermé. The same 3 drivers on the podium, and congratulations. I mean, what can I say except perfect weekend again?
Yeah, thank you very much. 2 pole position, 2 wins, so can't be more happier. But yeah, the race was also in the first lap quite interesting. Yeah, with James together, but yeah, in the end I overtook him again, and yeah, could win the race.
So everything looks absolutely perfectly in the whole season for you. So self-confidence, maximum level?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the expectations are high. So of course in Abu Dhabi I want to do it again.
So the perfect preparation also here in the championship for the rest of, or the upcoming season for you?
Yeah, for sure. In Germany I will drive again. So it's yeah, really good season to prepare for it. Yeah.
Congratulations! Time for the ceremony, and then you will have some days because the next race weekend is just ahead. What are your plans for the week?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe do some karting over here. But yeah, we will see.
Okay. Thanks again. Congratulations, Janusz Stiak, and let's see if we also have his competitors, which are with him on the podium. I see Angus. Then I have to take my camera with me. Angus, give me a little chat. So at least that we have the cars in the back. Angus, congratulations. I said a déjà vu for me, also for you. Double podium that weekend. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's I was saying to my dad last night, I was like, I'm proud, but obviously never satisfied because we always aim to be number 1. But no, very happy with the result. My first double podium since I've been in the Middle East. So yeah, got to take the positives out of this one.
Yeah, and you're sweating a little bit. Yeah, how demanding was it?
Well, I run hot anyway, so I'm always a hot person. But in the last half of the race, I was really struggling to hold on to it. I saw Caleb really catching up with me, and I was like, right, try and push harder. Every time I tried to push harder, the tyre would just fall on me. So annoying, but I was praying for every time I came on the last corner. I was like, where's this checkered flag? So no, very happy, and we'll see you in Yas Marina. Yeah,
it's the next weekend. What are the plans for the week?
Hanging out with my mum and my wife, and my sister's coming over, so a family get together, and then they depart on Thursday, and then it will just be my wife and myself. So
great plan. So we see you in Yas Marina. Congratulations one more time, and let's see if we also have James somewhere. Already disappeared. Oh, he's there, having a little chat also with his father, I guess. James, as we're live, yeah, come to me. Missed you in the gym this morning. Yesterday we trained together a little bit, but it's the same situation here in the Parc Fermé. So, yeah, congratulations. How do you feel with 2 second places that weekend?
Yeah, I mean, obviously yesterday I spoke about the mentality side of the racing, and I don't think my concentration's been as great in the first few laps and towards the end of the race. I can't expect much to change overnight, but I think the first few laps were much better, and definitely the mid-race pace was good, but yeah, still lacking towards the end of the race. So I mean, hopefully one more night and we'll be on pace. So no, overall good race. Jana did a good job again, and hopefully we push for more at Yas Marina.
And it was great seeing you putting pressure on Janusz. So give us an idea how the feeling was in the first few laps.
Yeah, I know, obviously starting P3, I knew I had to kind of get past Saud in order to fight with Janne, and yeah, we got a good launch off the line, got a little bit squeezed at turn 1, forced to take the escape road, and yeah, had to be fairly careful and maybe give the place back, but no, overall really good race with Janne at the start, but hoping for more. Hopefully I can last a lap next time, and then we can push for a win, hopefully.
Yeah, next time is already next weekend, the fabulous Yas Marina circuit. How much are you looking forward to this, and what are the plans for the week?
Yeah, so I think obviously we'll have a little debrief with the engineer and just go over a few things, step in the right direction though, and have a nice relax and back to testing next Wednesday. So yeah, looking forward to a rest, that's for sure.
So enjoy your time. Thank you very much. Congratulations one more time, James. And I think it's time for the ceremony to get the trophies, and that does mean for me to say thanks everybody for watching, and enjoy the ceremony with Scott.
Thank you, Eric. Brilliant interviews as always. Yes, I'm going to dash off in a few moments' time just to go and conduct the podium ceremonies. If you are around the circuit and you can hear us on the PA system, do stick around in the paddock around the big purpose-built podium. We're going to do all the presentations as we did last night. Really fun occasion with lots of music, celebration, lots of people around, lots of cheering. Really great occasions. So do come across to the pit paddock if you haven't done so already, if you're around the circuit. So we're going to have some highlights pretty soon of what happened and all the action for race number 2. As that happens, we're going to prepare for the podium, so stick around whilst you enjoy the highlights. We'll be back on camera with our podium. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. How are we feeling? Did you enjoy that race? No, come on, it's Porsche Carrera Cup meetings. Let's make some noise, come on! Much better, really good race, great sunshine, great to have you all here, great for the support, thank you very much. Just a note, can all the drivers stick around to the end? We're going to get a big group photo with you just so we can get one big family photo for Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. Brilliant event, brilliant to see all of you guys here supporting it. Thanks to all the partners, all the teams for getting involved. I'm going to jump off the stage here, but you'll hear me announce the drivers on, so give them a cheer, give them a round of applause, make some noise when they come up, because they deserve it and they deserve your support. So give me just 1 second, and let's get the drivers up here in order. Okay. So, ladies and gents, we're going to start first of all with our overall top 3. So be sure to give them a round of applause when they come up. First of all, in the top 3, let's announce in 3rd place from GB for Proton Huber Motorsport is Angus Whiteside. Second place, once again, our Porsche GB Junior. Give it up for James Wallace. And there's simply no stopping him now. His 5th win from 6 races. Champion leader once again makes some noise for Janusz Stiak. And the first trophy presented to Janusz Stiak by Jennifer Biela-Moll of Porsche Motorsport to the winner, Janusz Stiak overall. Well done. The second place trophy going to James Wallace is presented to Faisal Al-Salawi, the General Manager of Dubai Autodrome. And the 3rd place trophy to Angus Whiteside, presented by Mark Sinclair, General Manager of Porsche Centre Dubai and Northern Emirates. Great, sir. And one more trophy for Janusz Stiak, and that is the rookie class trophy as well. And that's presented again by Jennifer Biela-Moll. And that goes to our winner once again, Janusz Stiak. Congratulations. Drivers, if we can get you together on the podium for a group photo on the top step. And once again, make some noise. Your overall top 3, Angus Whiteside, James Wallace, and your winner for the 5th time this season, Janusz Stiak. Okay, next up we move on to the Pro-Am class. The first of all, moving on into 3rd place. Make some noise, representing Saudi Arabia for Saudi Racing. Give it up for Khaled Al-Akmadi. In second place from Germany for GP Elite, make some noise for Soren Sprang. And after a brilliant front row start, he comes home with the Pro-Am victory, winning the class from Saudi Arabia for Saudi Racing. Make some noise for Saud Al Saud. And once again, the winner's trophy in class presented by Jennifer Biela-Moll of Porsche Motorsport. The second place trophy to Soren Sprang, once again presented by Faisal Al-Salawi, of General Manager of Dubai Autodrome. And the third place trophy, again presented by Mark Sinclair to Khaled Al-Akmadi. And once again, drivers, if we can have you on the top step together for a group photo. And once again, make some noise for your Pro-Am top 3 from race number 2 at Dubai Autodrome. Third place, Khaled Al-Akmadi. Second, Soren Sprang. And class winner, Saud Al Saud. Saud, let's just bring you for a quick word as well. A great front row start. Bit of a tricky first lap for you, but still a brilliant Pro-Am victory. You must be delighted.
I mean, yeah, I was aiming for an overall podium, of course, but I did a mistake in the first lap, and you know how it is, it's racing. But I kept my consistency throughout the race, and I made the P1 in Pro-Am, so let's go further and develop more.
That's a good confidence for Yas Marina.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well done, congratulations. Saud Al Saud, Pro-Am class winner, well done. Now we move on to our Masters category, so let's welcome them up in reverse order. In third place from Bulgaria, make some noise for Mike Mim. In second place from the Czech Republic for GT Sports Technology, please welcome Petr Brecker. And once again, taking his second Masters victory of the weekend, please make some noise for the one and only, it's Banksy. Popular victory for Banksy. And once again, the first place trophy for Masters category presented by Jennifer Biela-Moll to Banksy after a superb weekend here in Dubai. Once again, the second place trophy presented by Faisal Al-Salawi from General Manager of Dubai Autodrome. And that goes to Petr Brecker. And the third place trophy to Mike Mim, presented by Mark Sinclair for our third place driver in the Masters class. Well done, congratulations. And once again, if we can get our top 3 together on the top step of the podium for a group photo together, please. And once again, make some noise for your Masters top 3. Third place, Mike Mim. Second, Petr Brecker. And once again, the winner, it's Banksy. Well done, congratulations. As they make their way off the stage, we now move on to our GCC top 2. And it's both of our Saudi drivers, so we'll bring them up in reverse order. In second place in GCC, make some noise for Khaled Al-Akmadi. Almost forgot he had one more trophy to pick up. And your GCC winner for race number 2, Dubai, make some noise once again for Saud Al Saud. And the winner's trophy presented by Faisal Al-Salawi will go to the winner in GCC, Saud Al Saud, on the top step of the podium. And it will be Mark Sinclair who will give out the trophy to Khaled Al Ahmadi for second place in GCC after a fine drive for both of our Saudi drivers. And once again, if we can get our two Saudi drivers on the top step of the podium, and your first and second drivers in GCC, second place Khaled Al Ahmadi, and Saud Al Saud, your victor in GCC. And there's one more trophy to hand out, and that is for the team winners, and represented by Hannes Moder. Please welcome onto the stage the winning team, Proton Huber Competition. And to present the trophy, Jennifer Bier-Lamole to Hannes Moder, representative of Proton Huber Competition, a trophy for them to take away from this weekend at Dubai Autodrome. Once again, round of applause for your winning team from race 2 in Dubai. And once again, can we get all of our drivers now and our main team personnel up onto the stage now for a big group family photo to finish off the weekend here in Dubai. Up you come. Let's bring all of our drivers forward. Once again, ladies and gents, make some noise for your podium and winners in race number 2 here at Dubai in Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East 2024-25. Great stuff. And as they exit the stage, that essentially wraps up our activities for racing activity this weekend here at Dubai Autodrome for the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. And I think the best person to speak to sign things off, to have a word, I think, is with the main manager, Robert Lechner. Robert, well, what a weekend. It's our UAE double header. Fantastic racing all round, some great performances. We'll do it on the podium here so we can finish off. Just move away from the speaker for a second. What a weekend, Robert. The first of a double header this weekend in the UAE. Some brilliant racing, some great drives, and a great performance from everyone involved.
Yeah, first let me say thank you to Scott, and a big applause for Scott, who was doing our commentary, our prize giving. So thank you, Scott, and thanks to everyone joining us here. From my side, from the team side, to all the mechanics, the engineers, everyone who was involved. Big thanks and shout out again to Porsche Center, Dubai and Northern Emirates. It's always great to come here. We will be back next year for sure, and I hope you are back, and I really enjoyed the racing going on track, and yeah, it's about time to move on. We will be doing it all over again, so next weekend at Yas Marina Abu Dhabi Circuit, and there's a live stream. I hope you guys follow us online, and that's it from my side. So really happy, the weather is great, so it's time to celebrate.
Great stuff. Thank you, Robert. Thanks for all your work for your partners at the racing. Brilliant job as always, and we'll see you in a week's time, of course. Well done. Thank you. Great stuff. And for all of you here, thank you very much for being here. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And again, if you want more action, we do it all again next weekend, just about an hour from here at the Yas Marina Circuit. So come see the drivers, come and see it once again. But from all of us here at Dubai, for myself, Scott Woodward, from all of us in Porsche and Lechner Racing, thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of the event, and we'll see you in a week's time at Yas Marina to do it all over again. Thank you, everyone. Make some noise, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Hi, hello.
Sound check.
Hey guys, are we ready?
6 rounds. 12 races. Tough competition.
Real racing.
From Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
Iconic tracks.
And breathtaking destinations.
This is the second season.
This is
The Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. We're ready to go.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
What will win in a drag race between the Porsche 911 Turbo S and the brand new Taycan Turbo GT and a tuned Porsche 911 Turbo S? Let's find out how much horsepower it's got from its driver. Hey Jamie! Yo. So, tuned, right, how much horsepower you got?
A little bit, 1100.
1100 horsepower. Okay, well, let's find out what happens because we're going to race them over the standing quarter mile. I'm Matt Watson, that's Jamie from Officially Gas, and you're watching Car Wow. The Porsche 911 Turbo S has a 3.8 litre twin-turbo flat-six, 650 horsepower and 800 newton metres, four-wheel drive and an 8-speed dual-clutch auto with launch control. It weighs 1,640 kilograms and costs £180,000. The Porsche Taycan Turbo GT has two electric motors, four-wheel drive, up to 1,034 horsepower and 1,240 newton metres. It weighs 2,365 kilos and costs from £186,000. Jamie's 911 still has a 3.8 litre twin-turbo flat-six, but it's been tuned to 1,100 horsepower and 1,085 newton metres. With all the upgrades, it cost him £240,000. Okay, we're going to do a sound check. No point in you taking part, Yanni. So it's just between me and Jamie. So we've got the standard Turbo S. Sounds like that. And Jamie's tuned Turbo S. Easy win for Jamie there, easy win. Should we race then, see if you can have another easy win?
I'm ready, but yeah, let's see how things go. I'm just team petrol here, so I've got to beat Yanni.
Well, you've got to beat this for a start. I bet I'll beat it off the line.
3, 2, 1.
Come on!
Standard Turbo S for the win! Where's Jamie?
Come on! Oh no!
I can't see him, is he been? Where is he?
Oh no, Jamie! That's the team petrol! That's the team petrol!
Right, that was really funny. I was like racing and I got off the line. I thought I got off the line first, right? And then I saw Yanni come past me and I was like, where's Jamie? Where's Jamie? And I was looking behind me thinking like your car had like gone wrong or something, Jamie. I couldn't see you because you're like diagonally across from me ahead of Yanni, surely, yeah?
You guys kind of got a little bit ahead, but then I got the power down and then I come round both of you and I took the win.
Hey, listen, do you reckon you can go faster?
The more heat I can get in these tyres, the more grip, the less wheel spin, the better it will change into second gear and the more I'll beat you all by.
Okay, I'll give you another go then. Let's do best 2 out of 3. Let's see if you can go even quicker, Jamie. Come on.
What, am I just not going to talk? We're just not going to have any conversation with me? So what I thought happened is I messed up the launch slightly. Matt got a really good launch. I was well ahead of Jamie and then he just rocketed past me and then the flames are coming out the back. So that's what happened from my side. Thanks for asking.
Well, Yanni, just to let you know, no one really cares about EV cars except from you. And also, flames coming out the back of this is a trait that you only get when your car burns dead dinosaurs, baby.
What fuel are you running on your car, Jamie, you little cheater?
Literally just V-power, brother, just V-power.
But I do think some of the fumes have clearly entered the cabin because it sounds like he's off his face.
Exactly, Matt, exactly.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, I didn't change gear.
Oh, I've got him. Don't come past me now, come on.
Oh, I'm gonna have Jamie. Come on, no, I'm not.
Get to the end. Get to the end! Jamie! Ah!
Oh, bro, you are so lucky my car did not play ball there. I was running you down like a mad. Listen, I beat the stock Turbo S, and that's a win for a start like that, is all I'm saying. You got one. Evie got one because something went wrong with my car.
Okay, and that's tuned cars for you, right? So how much was your build on that?
So basically, you could get to this same power level for 30 grand, but there's probably about 60 grand worth of mods in this car.
Okay, so why you've modded other things like your GT3 bonnet and stuff like that?
Yeah, essentially carbon fibre kit, wheels, and things like that.
Like money down the drain kind of stuff?
Look cool when I pull up to the car meet kind of stuff.
Okay, right, one each for you guys. I'm just a spectator at this. Apart from the first, I don't know, 50 metres maybe, I'm in it, but then it's all over. Best 2 out of 3, decided for you two. Remember when this was the daddy and he like killed everything?
I remember the grey one we used to drive. Was it 911 HUL? That was the one that you killed the Amley drag race in that car.
Time moves on, doesn't it?
3, 2, 1.
Ah, I didn't change gear.
Jamie off the start.
Forward!
He's going to come flying past in a second.
See you later, stinky.
2-1, forward!
I can see Yanni's face already.
So win for the Taycan Turbo GT.
The speed I am coming